Hi everyone, welcome to the channel today. So today I've got Max in the chair. Now I haven't actually seen Max before. He's actually a friend of Matt, a photographer. You can't see, he's always behind the camera. But today we're going to go through and find out what he wants to do. We've got some great curl that I know we're going to work with, some good length as well. So let's jump in and have a chat. Max, buddy, how you doing?
Doing great, man. How are you?
Yeah, it's good to meet you. Good to meet
Excellent.
you. What's the plan with your hair today? What are we thinking?
You know what? We're just gonna do this on the fly. We're gonna.
Nice. I love that.
I know one thing for sure is that we're gonna definitely cut around the back and the sides. We're gonna trim it all the way down to one.
So like you want to go,
and then the top length, we're just gonna.
You like want a full restart? Like you want to cut everything off?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, look,
yeah.
this is gonna be a fun day today.
This is gonna be a project,
That's
man.
it.
Let's
so
see. If,
you want to take, so one's gonna be like this kind of length.
oh
here.
yeah.
You want to go like short on the sides.
Short, definitely
Nice.
short all the way around.
Yeah.
And then, so that's how it was layered before.
Yeah.
So I actually have a band too, so we could actually pick up my hair like this.
Oh yeah. So like a little top knot, a little pony. Yeah.
And then
Nice.
we could cut around.
Excellent. Do you want to keep the? Do you want to keep the length?
We're going to trim it to at least half. We'll start there and then see if I want to go shorter.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So the style you have in mind is, again, short undercut underneath.
Yep.
Do you want to sort of fade it from tight on the neck? Do you want something sort of clean or just sort of short and gone? You're thinking more sort of like fade it out.
Let's try to fade it out.
Yeah, perfect. I think that'd be nice. It gives a bit more of a design, especially a bit more sort of structure around the hairline.
Yeah.
And just we can sort of sculpt it a little bit more to the face shape.
Yeah, sounds
and then with the top, the idea is just to sort of brush it back or have it so you put it in a ponytail.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to sort of have that result where it comes back and sort of comes to enough length that we can tie it up.
Yeah.
Or you're thinking more.
We'll see. Well, I was actually initially thinking to the point where, because I had it once at a length where I could comb it forward actually.
Nice.
Even.
Yeah.
And just kind of have it hang a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like a bang situation.
Perfect. I think that for me, seeing the hairline. So as we can see, come in a bit close, Matt. So as we can see, just with the hairline, like the widow's peak through the front and just the deep recessions, having something that we're pulling back, it's going to sort of make it look very sort of tight through here, especially when that's gone.
Yeah.
So I'd like something with a bit more length to it that we can get a bit more of a fringe falling forward, or something that we can sort of play around with.
Yeah.
That we can sort of just have looser, so it can fill out and make that top look a little bit squarer and give you more of a sort of a solid shape. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I like the way you think, man.
Excellent. Let's do your thinking. You know, just stuff already. Perfect. So that for me, length's going to come down to probably like here, a little bit shorter than half of. As we said, work in progress. We cut it, we check, we just chat and just keep going and just work, just sculpt something as we go.
Let's do it, man. I'm excited.
Good? Excellent. So there we go. We've got some free reign. We've got some fun to have. We can go through. Now we're going to take the underneath off. I'm going to start by removing the length with the horseshoe in place. Cut the length, work the detail, and then we'll start removing the top just for some fun. So we're going to go get shampooed, and then we're going to look forward to having some great fun with the hair. Max, let's do it.
Excellent, let's go.
So yeah, you said you're adventurous with the hair. You've done all colours and that you were saying, or
dyed
it?
I mean, it's been a while since I've dyed it, but yeah, I used to try stuff all the time. I've had almost every kind of hairstyle, I think, that I can think of. Well, all the ones that I could pull off anyway.
I've never known you with long hair, so this will be interesting.
Yeah.
Oh wow, seriously, yeah.
Well, I think, well, I think since I kind of fell into Jenna's friend group, no one has met me with short hair yet, you know. Yeah, but I used to have like my go-tos were like fades and stuff. And,
oh, seriously, nice.
Yeah. So like I said.
Anybody you were getting short hair?
No, I didn't tell anybody. I mean, every time.
Show would be like, Max has a
half of the reason why I never got it cut is because every time I mention it in public, people are like, "No."
Oh, they liked it. They was
I'm like, nah, you know, it's just.
Yeah,
but you know, it's a lot of maintenance. You know, I have to start wearing, you know, what do they call it? Not scrunchies, but you know what I mean.
The rags and stuff. Yeah, you got stuff.
Yeah, it just gets in my eyes and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just tired of taking care of it. I just want something I can handle, you know. Yeah. A length that's a little more, less maintenance-y. So.
Love it. Sun comes out, hair comes off.
Yeah.
Done. That could be the catchphrase. Sun's out, cut the hair off.
Yeah, but then I show people pictures of when I had my hair shorter, and people are like, "Oh yeah, no, we like that too," you know. So I'm like, "I told you."
I look good.
I'm gonna look good either way. Yeah.
You from Vancouver, like this area?
Yeah, mostly. I've lived here. I've lived here since mid '90s. So.
Oh, nice.
But off again, on again in Denver,
Oh, yeah.
and yeah, mostly Denver.
Nice.
I got some family and friends out there, so.
I've got a friend that's just moved to Buffon, just outside Boulder.
Oh,
Yeah.
for some reason I haven't heard of that.
It's just 20 minutes north of Boulder, by Love, is it Loveland or something?
Yeah, that sounds right.
In between Loveland, Love, whatever that town is, and the other one.
Yeah, I ventured mostly, would that be, westward from Denver, so like towards the mountains and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So places like Breckenridge and
Yeah.
names escape me now. It's been a while.
It's been a while. When I work, I do a
I'll
tour.
remember. I'll remember it after we're done.
As soon as you leave,
Yeah.
it's going to be like, that was the town.
Yeah.
I do a tour every year from Fort Collins down to Colorado Springs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So go down that corridor and do classes. So we've gone through in shampoo. Just use a nice hydrating shampoo just for the curl, and a bit of conditioner as well. Keep it nice and simple, not too much. I want to keep it quite raw because we are going to be going from wet to dry with a style and sort of developing what we're working with. When I'm now going to go through to part, biggest thing for me is going to be understanding where I'm going to place my horseshoe. So looking at the head, if I come too high, it's going to really make it look wide on the sides and quite thin at the top. But I want to get more width to it. So a lower horseshoe for me is going to be quite important. As we can start to see the curvature of the head on the side, we've got quite a strong area just on low recession, but I want to come a little bit lower. I want to start to have that shape a little bit underneath so I can play around with the extra length on top. It is going to run the risk of the hair wanting to fall over to the sides, but again, we can play around with that as we build up the shape as we cut into the top. But I think that's going to be really important for me so I don't go too high and just make it too much of an underneath kind of haircut. I want the top to be a focus with the length we're going to work with. So I'm going to comb the hair all the way back in the direction I want to go. And now I'm going to want to keep a square shape going around the head just for a bit more continuity and control. So we're going to be working from here, just working back all the way. Keeping quite low to start and then just falling into the back area. As we come through to the back, I'm just now going to look again on the side, look with the curvature. We're quite flat on Max's head all the way through the back, so I do want to build up some shape to it. So I'm going to come just horizontally straight across, just on that area, just above the occipital bone. So I can start to build up a little bit of weight from that area as well, but again, not going too low because that would make it drop back quite a lot. But again, I don't want to go too high. So being very cautious in the execution of this and the creation of this, this horseshoe itself. I'm going to come just a tiny little bit higher. This for me, I'm always going to take some time placing this in. I'm going to work it through, comb it out of the way, have a look, allow for the stretch of the skin and the hair, just so I get the right shape. Because it's really going to be important for me to understand that shape. And now I've got that placed in, I think that looks perfect. I'm really happy with where that's placed in. So I'm just going to mirror that on the other side and connect in all through the top. And we're just going to clip out of the way so it's easier to see for camera and just work vertical parting all the way through. So Max, while I'm doing this,
Yeah.
tell us a bit about yourself. What'd you do?
Well, I've been basically an entrepreneur,
Nice.
lightly put. I've been working basically in every sector you could possibly imagine. I went to school for public administration, studied political science. Was going to go to law school, but the COVID thing kind of took me off the rails there.
Yeah.
So.
Is that like to do the bar? You know, become a lawyer type thing, attorney, or study something else?
Well, instead of going to law school during the pandemic, I decided I'm gonna try my hand in bartending.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
It's very different from lots of bartending. Look at that.
Yeah, I mean it's actually a typical story for most law students, right? So, do what you know, do what you love, right?
Yeah.
So no, I got into business with a friend of mine, and we managed a bar together basically for since the pandemic up to last year.
Around here?
In Portland, Oregon,
Oh, nice.
just off of Belmont.
Yeah.
So a pretty not the busiest street, but it's got good foot traffic. It's just right off Hawthorne too. So yeah, I did
You say
that.
till last year, so closed the business down, moved on. What was the
So
story?
the owners ended up selling the business. So,
Okay.
we've all kind of moved on from there. But that's kind of how I got into the friend group that I have now, and
Oh, nice.
we kind of maintain that relationship through our time at the bar and from that street. But yeah, it was fun. So now I'm trying to basically get back to it, looking to further my education and possibly, giving it a second go now
nice.
that everything's kind of settled and, well, relatively speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. What about you, Mark? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, good question.
You seem like you know what you're doing, so.
Maybe just a couple of moments in time. So, I was talking to someone yesterday actually about this, and I'm just shy of 30 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really? You love what you do?
I do actually, and that's actually where the conversation started. Because I was actually saying that if I could actually earn enough, to not actually charge for hair, I'd love to just do hair behind chair. Like I really thoroughly enjoy cutting hair, so it's like my sort of passion as well as my career. I love creating the art. I love working with my clients. I love sort of designing and doing everything to it. The guy came in yesterday. It's actually one of my daughter's school friends' dads. He had long hair to here, and we cut it up to here.
Okay.
And he was just sort of shocked to how I was doing it, how I was cutting it, and how it was working, and telling him how to teach him how to do it. And I was just saying, I just love cutting hair. I love the whole thing about it.
I can tell, man. You got a passion for it.
Yeah.
And you kind of got it down to a science too.
Well, I like to think so.
Yeah.
Whether it's exact science, I don't know just yet. But yeah, definitely a passion for it for sure. Okay, so horseshoes placed in. Okay, we're good there. I've got my right shape. I'm going to now go through and take off the length underneath. Biggest thing for me here is to start to build up a little bit of weight. So again, shorter through the underneath to a little bit longer around the horseshoe. I'm just going to be working in just with the fingers, just working square, cutting some length off. I just want to remove length right now. I know I'm going to work some scissor or comb just to sort of soften or even strengthen up the shape later. I don't think I'm going to work the clippers to it because I know just looking at sort of the sparseness on the root area, I don't want to go that short because again, it's going to make it look quite sparse. So I want to maintain a bit more sort of thickness in that shape. So I think scissor comb is going to be the right choice for me. So we're going to go start and work on that, and then we're going to just sort of play around and develop the shape. Before we do go on, I just want to say I love working these haircuts. One of the biggest things for me when I'm cutting hair is evolving a shape, seeing how it works. When you have your parameters of this is what I want to do and you know what you're going to do, it's great. When you get a client that comes in and just says, do what you want, or let's just create something, it really gets the juices going, the creativity, the fun, because you get a chance to sort of see how the hair's reacting, you get a chance to move, you look in the mirror a lot using the tools, talk to your client, converse a little bit, and it's really nice just to see the development of a haircut. So it's actually one of my most enjoyable ways to work is a haircut like this today. So yeah, I love these experiences. Okay, let's crack straight on him. I'm going to start at the back. For the main reason, I just want to build up that shape first of all. I'm going to be working a similar shape just round to the back area, again, just initially in the back. And then I'm going to slightly change the technique moving through to the side. So I'm not going to work from one side all the way around. I'm going to build up a shape in the back and adjust the shape in the front as well. Everything on the head can be personalized and detailed according, and that's how I'm going to work it. But for me, I want to start back today.
By contrast to what he said, by the way, Mark said that he loves this kind of job where the client just says, you know what, have at it. If you came to a bar and told them, you know what, just make me something sweet, every bartender will be like, oh God, one of these guys.
I don't know. What do you want? What do you like?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. The taste is subjective as well.
Let's start with what kind of spirit you would want first.
Yeah.
Just make me anything, something tasty, something good.
The older surprise me.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, here's water.
Yeah,
surprise.
Right. Yeah, club soda and bitters. There you
That's
go.
it. There was a time in my life I never drank, and I don't drink much now, honestly. But it was a time, and I always used to say to the bartender, like, can I have some quality H2O on the rocks with a twist? Nice and lemon.
Yeah.
I knew the bartender, so it was fun.
Yeah.
And everyone would listen around, being like, "What's he ordering over there?"
Yeah, it's funny. But both of us have to get. Well, I had to get creative sometimes, and actually, There is something to it. I mean, you get to experiment on clients like that and customers like that. You know what I mean?
Did you make your own cocktails? Have you sort of designed any or tried to create
I'm
some?
not much of a mixologist, but we had people there that were really talented and that sort of thing. But yeah, I didn't really acquire a skill for it. I mean, you know, every now and then something, but no, there's definitely people who really just they have a taste for it, and they can already sense what kind of bitters go with what kind of syrups and stuff like that. So
yeah, chefs as well with the food, isn't it? So
Yeah.
if you've got something that actually really works, you know the flavor profile, you know the palate, you know what can complement. It's amazing. I'm no good with food. I don't cook. Don't even.
But you're good with hair,
well.
and I think it's important to note that the way that Mark has been conducting this it just reminds me of a cooking show. I'm serious. He's explaining the process. This is what we're doing. This is how it's going to work. This is how it's probably going to look.
So we're gonna call it master cuts. Or
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
Top cuts.
Master cut, master barber.
Top chef. I
Yeah.
love it.
All we need
Get
now
a
is
competition next.
All we need now is a panel of judges.
That's it. We've got a couple of clients, and Christy's over there. She can be one. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we've got a few friends, Matt, that would like to judge.
Yeah.
They already do. They watch the videos.
That's it. They love
Oh,
it.
there you go. There you go. Leave a like, subscribe, 5 stars,
That's
all
it.
that. Yeah.
You can only judge if you give all the good comments. So what's your drink of choice?
Oh, I'm a seasonal kind of guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So right about at this time, I think it's time to bust out the rum and the gin. Otherwise, bourbon, whiskey kind of thing. Yeah.
I've got this flavour for the minute for tequila and pineapple.
There you go. Yeah.
Sort of came around on a night out back in January actually, because I didn't want I didn't want like the soda or something. It was just too much sugar. So I was like, what can I have with fruit juice and things? And I was doing like vodka, or, vodka whatever. And I was like, I love pineapple. Let's do vodka pineapple. And then I was like, let me just do tequila pineapple. And I was like, that's actually really nice.
Yeah.
So now it's all I want to drink is tequila pineapple.
Yeah, it's actually very very common mix. Actually,
Is it a common drink?
Yeah, you get a lot of that, especially at the lounges.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? High-end lounges. I mean, it's kind of a basic mix for that sort of clientele, especially with the ladies.
Yeah.
Can I get a tequila pineapple?
Same as what girls drink.
Hey, no knock on you, man. People like what they like. I mean, I love a Shirley Temple every now and then. So, yeah, or a lemon drop.
I'm like, can I have a vodka? Can I have tequila pineapple in a really dirty glass?
Yeah, there you go.
Feel manly.
Yeah. No, there's nothing wrong with that.
So I do order it in a pint glass,
Yeah.
So
One of my favorite drinks actually is what's it called? The dirty martini.
Oh yeah. What's the dirty thing about it?
Just a little more olive juice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes not just olive juice. You can add the what's it called? The pickled onion vermouth. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, there's lots of ways to play with that. So how long have you been working in Vancouver, Mark? This is
So I came over to the States. Actually, I've lived there my whole life. I'm fully American. It's just an accent I put on for camera. I'm joking.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's doing a great job.
He's not breaking character once. He's doing great.
Yeah.
So no, I came over 2010 to the States, and then ended up moving to Vancouver 2011. 2012. I was in Miami for a year first.
Oh, there you go.
And then
It's a good place to start
that's it,
Miami.
yes.
Yeah.
And then then moved here, and like the Northwest for me is definitely more me.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell by my complexion. I actually burn in the shade.
Oh,
so if the sun comes through, I get like a tan.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's, you might as well be from Transylvania.
Been there, it's a good place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's 2012 moved up here, and then been here ever since. Yeah.
Oh, that's excellent.
How's it look? One side's off. That's it. We're not going asymmetric, so we're looking good.
I guess we're done here. I mean, we're good to go. We can leave those pins in.
Drop the comb off and go, done. That's it. So the idea here is that I've just removed the length now. I'm going to go through. I want to texturize the back a bit more, but I do want to keep this cleaner and I want to keep it sharper. So we are going to go squarer. But just removing length for me in the moment is important to see how the hair is reacting. But most importantly, see how the roots are pushing the hair away to see how much lift it's going to give. So I'm going to go through and do this side, and then we're going to work the scissor comb to really sort of develop the shape.
I can already feel the breeze on one side of my head. It's been a long time.
Yeah, so when did you start growing it?
You know, kind of, it was sort of done by accident. When I was staying in Denver last year.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't trust any of the barbers because all my barbers are out here, you know, people that I trust and know and stuff. So I just would let it grow out while I was out there. And then by the time I moved back to Vancouver, I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stick with this length for a while. Yeah. And then people, you know, started talking me out of cutting and like, no, your length is great. This is, you know, it's going to curl. It's going to look great. You should leave it. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to hang on to it for a while. But I decided that now it's time. So. Yeah. Something different. It's been about a year with that.
Okay, so not too long. Yeah. So you change pretty quick with the styles.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I like to change it up. What was fun though is that people that didn't see me for a while and then saw me with the long hair, they didn't recognize me. You know, I would get double looks everywhere I went. You're like, wait, who's that? Wait, Max, is that you? It's like, oh, dude, your hair.
You're like, no, but I've got a brother called.
Yeah. So now I'm going to throw them off again because other than you two, maybe like two other people know that I'm getting my haircut today. So.
Oh wow! So literally, it's going to be a surprise for the full group.
Definitely.
Nice. Okay, length's off. No going back now.
Yeah,
no going
there
back
it is.
At all. So the biggest thing for me, Matt, come on just in. I just want to show you this a little bit here. So you can see how much lift we're getting from the back. You can see sort of like the texture we have in that back area. I quite like that movement to it. I am going to obviously clean up the hairline, but I want to go in and just cut into this. I don't want to actually take this too short. I think it's going to look nice with a little bit of texture. As I said, I'm going to work the sides because they're most important, and then we'll develop the back, how it goes. So for me, just always sort of seeing, as I said, how the shape will evolve when we go through to cut. I'm going to start with the wide teeth of the comb, and we're just going to take off, just remove some length. I'm going to be making sure that as I do the scissor comb, I'm working straight up and I'm not carving out. I'm not trying to fade this out. I'll tape this anyway. I just want to go straight. I want to keep it quite vertical. So I'll continue up and cut actually through that front area all the way. And that's going to be nice just to keep that little bit of density to it, but also keep that clean. Now through the consultation, Max asked for, like the number 1, and we know how many times he's changed his hair with different styles that, he's confident with going nice and short. So I do have a lot of scope and a lot of worry. I don't have to worry too much about, will it be too short, will it not be in the right length? So this even might be too long for him. He might be like, actually, can we go shorter? But I don't want to go straight to it. I want to sort of just, gradually get to that result because I'm liking working through these details. So just working that to just behind the ear. So I've got that nice and clean. Repeat on this side. Then we're going to go through and cut into the back and just clean up the hairline to blend it. So you live on the waterfront as well?
No. But that just seems to be where the stomping ground is for everybody.
Oh,
so
nice,
yeah. I actually avoided it for a while until I found out that's where everybody hangs out. So yeah. I mean, I've been in Portland so long, with the bar and everything, and
oh yeah, so across the water.
Yeah, my friends and everything are out there, so I usually just I hit the freeway straight from my house. Yeah. And next thing you know, I'm in Portland. So I didn't avoid Vancouver, but there was no reason for me to really explore. Yeah. Considering I just built such a community base out there in Portland. So, but now that I've kind of ventured out to the waterfront and made new friends, I'm kind of like, you know what, this is actually a pretty cool spot. And
it's nice.
Yeah, I learned to appreciate it more, definitely.
So Yeah, whereabouts in Portland?
What's that?
Whereabouts in Portland, like Pearl or?
Southeast
Southeast,
neighborhood,
nice.
so near Laurelhurst.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yeah, and it's on Belmont, so it's got that kind of like that crowd that you would find on
Oh, yeah.
Hawthorne Boulevard. It spills over onto Belmont, so.
Nice.
So were you a barber in the UK as well?
Yes, I've been doing hair 30 years. And I've been cutting hair as a speciality. I do men's, women's, I do everything. Don't just specialise in the men's. Always just sort of cut, never sort of done anything else. Don't colour, so don't ask me any questions on colour, I've got no clue. I style as well, do updos and sort of some weddings and things, but I'm pretty much just, I've found my passion and love with cutting, and that's just where I've stayed. You know, when you find that sort of love for something, you just stick to it.
Did you ever have any intention of going out to Hollywood?
No.
No?
My biggest thing in hair is education. Like, I love to teach. Mm-hmm. For me, I've never found the celebrity sort of stylist or that type of thing as my calling. It's always been education. So that's what I've always focused on, really. Yeah. I get asked that question a lot about, to do celebrities' hair or, But even like the photo shoots and stuff, I've always enjoyed, but I enjoy teaching so much more.
There are two barbers that I used to go to. Actually, one of them did work in Hollywood.
Oh, nice.
And then the other one didn't work in Hollywood necessarily, but he was a very, very well-known barber, and he'd actually have celebrities when they were in town. He would come and do a closed session with them,
lovely.
Private session, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
I think sometimes you need to be with an agency. I mean, I'd love to do it. I've done some pop-ups over in Portland in a salon in South Waterfront for the high-end clients over there, and that was sort of good. Really enjoyed it, but just hard with my schedule of kids and stuff, and trying to get over to Portland and get back to sort of keep it going. But it's nice. It's a different kind of sort of flow.
Yeah, I bet. How about the clientele in Vancouver compared to the UK? How's
very similar.
Similar?
Yeah. The only difference being is that we do a lot shorter hair in the UK.
Uh-huh.
So you get most of the women will have or play around with styles and things, whereas here it tends to be a bit longer.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of the main difference, really. Again, for me, because it was sort of academy based, or where I was younger over there, my clientele was naturally younger, and I was doing a bit more, I don't want to say creative work, but sort of out there sort of work as a younger stylist.
Yeah.
So different generations, different hair, different things.
Have you cut hair in anywhere else in Europe, like maybe on the continent? Or?
So I've been to 36 countries around the
Oh,
world.
wow.
Working for my previous company, Tony and Guy, got a chance to travel and educate, and obviously with Kevin Murphy, a few extra countries and that as well. So yeah, travelled to quite a few, teaching, working with the product lines and developing stuff. So yeah, travelled quite a bit. And everyone's like, oh yeah, but when you travel, you never spend time there. You see everything through a taxi window as you go to a hotel to do the show, and then you leave there.
See, I told you this reminds me of a cooking show. I mean, Mark's like he's the Gordon Ramsay of hair.
That's it, just without the profanities.
Yeah, thank you for not yelling at me.
Sit down.
No, excellent. Really exciting, man. That's fun stuff.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate in my career to, it's taken me around the world, it's taken me to many places, met so many different people. Like, funnily enough, actually just this week, one of my clients who I cut his hair recently is in Barcelona, and he was posting about his trip, and I was like, telling him he needs to sort of restyle his hair. I was like, you got to style this, you got to style that, you got to change this, And then he was like, the top's long, because it's been a little while since he's cut. So I was reaching out to one of my friends that has a salon in Barcelona to try and get him into the salon. So I'm connecting my client from here in America to my friend's salon in Barcelona.
That's cool.
And I was going to get a haircut. they couldn't quite, the timing didn't quite work, but literally I was like, so good to be able to organise a global haircut for someone because, you know, you just can.
Put that in your resume.
That's it.
That's so cool.
I texted him when I was here, I was like, see, even when you're around the world, you get the service.
Have you ever done like a house call? Like, you know, you see sometimes, like I've watched videos where it's usually famous people.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I do home hair and, you know, cut people around the house if they need it and stuff, and clients get sick or ill or, you know, can't leave, do stuff like that. I'll be around the house to help them out and do their hair and things, or, you know, they've come around to the garage. I think, Matt, have I cut your hair in my garage before? Not yet, no, that's it.
Well, one thing for sure, I don't think AI is going to be taking over this business anytime soon. So,
No,
I mean, you never know.
Yes.
Maybe they're going to build a robot that just, you know, you give them numbers and then that's just how they cut your hair with shears or with a little machine.
Well, did you ever see the thing called the Flowbee where you can just, like, you know, put a thing on it, just goes over the head and it's all the same length and stuff, yeah? Lovely. So, how are those sides feeling? I'm going to clean them up and get the details to it.
Sure.
But put your hands in it, make sure that length feels good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Goodness, I can't. It's like
Can't grab any of it.
It's wild, man.
I've taken the back short, but again, I'm going to clean that up as well.
It's going to take me a minute to get used to that.
Yeah. You'll wake up in the morning and be like,
Yeah,
where'd it go?
It was all a dream.
Okay, so pretty much shaping details in. I'm going to go through and just clean up the hairline before we move on to the top. And then we're going to move on to the top and start playing around with what we've got going on up there and then readjust the back. So the idea, I'm thinking, like when you brush it back, it sort of comes to like a messier result. But I do want you to be able to wear this sort of forward and around and scrunch and all that kind of stuff. So lots of little different details. Let's grab the trimmers. So I'm just going around now and just clean up the hairline, just a little bit around the front, just get a little bit sharper. I'm not going to go too short again. We're not doing sort of a tight fade or anything. We're not going down to the skin. We're just keeping it loose. So I don't want to go too short with it. I just want to keep it nice and clean and controlled, so just a little bit smarter. Just working with the growth pattern, the grain, and then against as well, just to pick the hair up and to keep the detail. Now we get to have some fun. Here's the good stuff coming off now.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
All right. So underneath's done, foundation's in there. Now we're going to work through to the top. So understanding that we sort of do want to play around with the top, we want to release that curl. I'm not going to go too crazy short to start. We're going to build the shape up. I'm going to sort of be working from the back, just working diagonal backs, dropping down, just sort of seeing the length. But I want to cut into it a lot so we do have a messier result. Normally when we work with curl this strong, you want to keep it a little bit sharper with the cut. But I do actually want to cut into it so we can move it and it does get quite soft. Product-wise, do you have a product you use at home? Do you have any favorite kind of sort of stuff that you work with?
You know, nothing sophisticated or specialized, but
Like soap or conditioner?
I mean, your viewers are going to cringe when they hear this, but I use a 2-in-1. So yeah, I use the what's it called? Crew.
Crew, like American Crew?
Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I just remember it says Crew on it. It's a big bottle. It was actually recommended to me by another barber, but that was a while ago. That's when I had shorter hair.
Nice.
Just because they said, you know, if you don't like using or thinking about conditioner, just use this 2-in-1 and forget it. You know what I mean? It'll wash your hair and it'll condition it. So that's just kind of what I've been using. I mean, ideally, I guess for your viewers, you don't want to do that. You want to use your conditioner separate from your shampoo. Am I right about that?
It does. It does help the hair.
See?
Yes.
See,
That's it.
I know.
But
I know.
co-washes work all right. So
Yeah.
it's okay. You can 2-in-1s can work. There is co-washes out there.
Yeah.
It's whatever sort of works for your hair and the scalp, whatever feels sort of good, honestly. Yeah. So knowing that you do get a little bit of a dry scalp, you are going to want to separate shampoos and conditioners. So you're actually just working a bit more with that. It's going to help you out a little bit. And then also as well, if you're not using product to finish with, having a stronger conditioner that you can leave in and sort of act as a bit of a styler will be good as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, and I can recommend some today that we can talk about. Well, you can find some things that work well for you.
Definitely.
So
I'm down to explore all options, man.
Nice, love it. Biggest thing working on here is just the length. Cut a little bit, see how it falls, work into the back, see how it falls. I'm definitely going to take this shorter, but I don't want to take it too short too soon. I want to let it dry a little bit, let it jump. I want to start to see how the curl starts to move. Knowing that Max doesn't use a lot of product and knowing that it's not sort of heavily sort of styling, I want to work with a cut, really important. So letting it sort of even go from wet to dry for me is really key. So knowing that we're going to brush it back as well. I'm working through the side, combing back first, finding the length. There is a previous cut in there as well, so using that just as a guide to length to start with. But again, this is not my length, this is just my preparation styling, let the hair get lighter so the roots can start to take over and can just start to sort of show me exactly how it wants to sort of be cut or how it wants to lie. So this is me now learning the hair, learning the structure, learning what's going on and having fun. Working that nice big deep point cut, cutting into the hair so we can just start to really let the hair settle and relax all the way through. I'm liking that kind of texture, like when I'm looking here, I'm loving what I'm seeing here, so I want to work with that a little bit more. I'm going to build that in just a bit and then keep going through. For me, I always find that if I am creating this kind of result, I don't want to go just straight in. I want to let the hair relax, develop. I want to sort of play around with it. I'm enjoying the creative process of it, so I'm not just trying to get it done. I really enjoy short hair. I enjoy how short hair sits. I enjoy how short hair, works. And it doesn't give me any fear, so going a bit slower with it sometimes is really key and quite important. I'm going to comb, so when I comb that down, you can see I'm getting a little bit of a roundness to it. So if I start to comb up a bit higher, I can then start to cut into the top. This will make the top a little bit shorter, underneath a little bit longer. So as you can start to see now, makes that sit a little bit flatter. So those little techniques as I'm working through on both sides, just important just to keep working through and seeing the shape. Knowing as well, the back and the sides will react differently. So cutting the back, seeing that I like the back, the shape, the detail, and then I'll work differently on the sides depending on what it needs also. So never sort of just thinking it's hair and I do the same all the way around. Every section can be cut different. Every section deserves to have its own cut to it. Because if you're always trying to do everything the same, hair's going to react different in different areas of the head, different curl patterns, different elevations, different twists. So we always make sure that we're trying to be very respectful of the whole head itself. you tuck it behind the ear a lot? Is it like a thing you do?
Yeah. Generally, yeah.
You like to tuck it?
Generally, try to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So knowing that we tuck as well, just sort of make sure I'm sort of going to keep enough length that we can tuck if we want to, or at least have that around the sides. But for me, as I'm looking through that, now I'm starting to sense that shape. And now when that sort of sits forward, it's going to sit nice and textured. That can come up onto the top, it can come to the side. And that's starting to build up that little bit of shape as well through this. So let's just keep going with it. Now going to work the top.
This is the emo look.
Good look.
Yeah, you know, it had its run.
Deciding to cut square through the back. Again, and just connecting in the head, I know is going to fall back first of all. So again, as I said before, taking each section individually and just sort of letting everything sort of blend. Now I've got my disconnection, but I'm liking how that curl is sitting on top. So now I just want to connect in the underneath to the middle. So comb that through, same again. And taking off that initial corner, so we're good to roll.
So Matt, how did you go about finding Mark?
Through a mutual friend of ours, his name is Jack.
Okay, Jack.
Jack and I were flying planes, and then I think Jack was literally just like, "You need a haircut. You should go see Mark."
Oh, okay.
Buddy, where's this feeling? It's going to feel lighter. Head's sort of doing this at the minute.
Oh, dude, I could already feel it. Like,
yeah. We're going to go shorter, and I'm going to reduce these corners a little bit.
Yeah.
I just want to start to sort of see the shape.
I like where this is headed.
As you can start to see, like the biggest thing with the hair is that it's now starting to jump a lot. It's now starting to move, and that's the fun because now we get to start to see how much curl actually really comes into play. Because before, what we saw was the weight of the hair strands pulling it down. So we had a cylindrical curl, but we didn't have a lot more bounce. Now we know we've got bounce to the hair. Now we know we've got a bit more movement. So knowing that, we're going to sort of have fun to play around with it. When I look at the shape, and when I look at this through the top, I'm sort of quite liking the length, but it does need to come shorter. But knowing that the side definitely got to sort of come up as well. We can get a bit more texture there. It's going to be fun to play around with that. And I even think I'm going to take this short enough so it doesn't tuck, so we have to sort of wear it up and around, which I think is going to be really fun. So yeah, so for me, my first port of call here will be to address the top and then to balance in the sides rather than work up as I have been doing, because I'm now sort of just restructuring and re-looking, redesigning, what's going on. So when I look through the back, like I'm liking this, I'm liking the texture, liking the shape. I don't want to change too much. But for me, my next port of call in the importance of it is going to be around the front of the fringe. Then that when we do wear it forward or wear it down, to the front, that we have a shape that actually sort of works for length there. So I'm going to go through and do that now, and then we're going to work into these sides. So just that back and forth development, not sort of just going in blind, but really looking, really seeing, really opening our eyes to how we're creating the shape of Max's hair today. And when we are working with this natural curl, I don't want to go through and be too restricted with my sections. So just letting that sort of fall naturally to the side, seeing what wants to fall forward, and that'll be my focus, and that's off we go. So how often do you wear it in front of the face, like through there?
How often? I mean, maybe like half the time.
Okay, good. So a fair bit.
Yeah.
Nice. So what I'm doing through here, It's just cutting that lighter and lighter. So as that shrinks up, it looks quite sort of stringy. It sort of hangs down over the eyes and doesn't sort of sit too heavy. It's not like a fringe. Does that feel too long?
Let's see. Let's lay it down for a sec. Yeah, it's still a little bit on the longer side.
So remember that it's going to shrink a little bit when it does dry.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah.
But
I mean, I am already happy with the length.
cool. Then I'm going to leave that length at the front for the moment, and when it's dry, we'll see where we go with it from there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excellent.
What was last night?
First Thursday.
Oh, is it like a thing on the waterfront?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know about on the waterfront here, but definitely in the Pearl District. Yeah, in the Pearl District, it's a happening time. So I did that for last month's First Thursday. It was actually, I didn't even know that was a thing. Well, I mean, I knew it was a thing. I just didn't know that it was still happening. So it's been a while since I was out like that, and lots of people. And I was watching people's stories last night. I'm like, oh wow, especially now that the weather's cleaned up and everything, and it's gotten clear. So definitely lots of people. I thought that's what you might have been talking about.
Oh no, I was just out with a friend. We just planned just doing catch up. Yeah, a little while. So all I'm going through and doing now, let me just show the difference in these two. So I've kept that corner, that length through the side here, so we can start to get some width to it. Now that movement can get quite texture coming forward, that nice sort of shape. And then when we sort of brush this back, you can now start to see that can sit back off that texture into the middle and disappear as well. And even if we work that with curl, we've got movement to it. So taking that taking that shorter has been really important and really key. And I'm going to deliver it through the back as well. But as you saw through the side, like when I had that down with that texture on top, looking at this side, I just done the same. Just wanted to go through and break that up a little bit and develop that as it moves through. Product choice and fun is going to be a big thing for me as we move on to the finish. So it's not necessarily about going through and having it all completed now. And I'm going to recommend Max to start using a little bit of product in his hair just so we can start to scrunch something in to get a bit more of a design to it. And he'll appreciate that when he does style at home and has his new look. But as you can see me cut, I'm working through with lice, very quite large scissor strikes, so really opening the blade up, really closing that blade as I'm working. So I'm getting lots of separation, so as that moves, it blends in. As I move that through to the back, it then just, again, disappears nice and soft. So techniques like that make it easier for working from wet to dry, so I don't have to go through and restyle a lot later or cut into once it's dry to soften.
So Mark, being from the UK and all,
Yeah.
can I assume that you have a favorite football team? English football?
You can, but I can't tell you at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
we're still in the technical portion of the show. Sure.
Because just it's like at the moment it's like they're not doing great. But yeah, I grew up supporting United.
Oh, okay.
Man
cool.
United, yeah. I got out of football sort of when I first sort of came here, just because it was so hard. Like I said, been there so long, it wasn't as easy as it is now to support a team.
Well, the time difference too is catching
time
the
difference,
games.
But most importantly, it was it just wasn't televised. It wasn't on channels. I think you had to search on the internet, and it's always tougher. So it was just never easy, and I just sort of got out of it. And at the time, it was. Seahawks, were sort of big, so it sort of got into me wanting to the Seahawks and stuff. And
have you adopted a U.S. soccer team, Timbers maybe? Or?
Oh, the Timbers, yeah. My son started playing soccer, so we did take him to watch the Timbers. Actually, for Father's Day last year, I got a chance to go on the pitch with him and play soccer with my daughter as well, actually.
Excellent.
Which was really nice. So
that's looking really good so far.
You liking what you're seeing?
Yeah,
liking the shapes, the details?
Yeah.
Anything you'll change? Anything you want to do?
Oh, no, I don't know, man. You know, I'm really just trusting your lead, but so far I have no complaints. If you said this was it, I'd be like, okay, cool.
That's it. Well, we're pretty close. I'm pretty happy with it. So we're pretty close to that. So I'm just going to detail some bits. What's that?
That swept back look.
Yeah.
Really good.
So this is the point in any haircut that I've sort of gone creative with for my clients, and I want them to touch the hair. I want them to see how they're going to style it. You know, I want them to see, do they recreate my vision? Do they look at it the same as I do? Do they sort of feel it's the same? What do they do? This is also a really good thing for me to see how they touch their hair. You know, do they work it really flat? Do they actually work to scrunch and curl? Do they sort of, you know, work with it quite easily? So Max, I'm going to get you now to put your hands in the hair, style it for me how you would, play around with it.
So generally kind of like this kind of look right here.
That's it.
I push this back sometimes, you know
Push
what I
that
mean?
back a little bit.
And just kind of have this kind of loosely to the side this way.
So you can see as Max is touching his hair, he's sort of touching it. He's not working with much conviction. He's sort of like holding it and sort of touching it, being sort of quite ginger. So I'm going to sort of say when you're touching it, I want you to see like I'm really holding the hair. I'm like put it in place. Once it's big and messy, like one finger is really key to go through and style rather than using the hand, because then you can start to create different areas of separation and texture. It allows you just to sort of keep like the messiness and the separation. As soon as you start using hands, you're flattening it, and you're starting to sort of trying to sort of make it all disappear. But try to keep it where you can sort of have a lot more texture.
Well, I'll give you the kind of the reasoning behind that too. Is as the day goes along, the hair loosens up, and you know the volume and like humidity and stuff. So it usually does take sort of a looser shape after I really put some like press it down and stuff. You know what I mean?
Then it sort of lightens up. And
then it lightens up during the day. Yeah, but I think that's also because of not really using a lot of product. So
so like something like that for me, I think looks really cool as well as as another style that Max could do. It might not be his taste. But I always want to go through and show my clients how they can style their hair in different ways. The thing I love about this is the squareness we've got here, the volume on these corners, because it's giving it a bit more dimension rather than sort of making it too short. And then that sort of messiness of that curl. So if you did want to wear it forward and have it quite big, it works. Having something as well where we can then sort of do complete opposite, brush it back. One thing that I would definitely recommend is not to brush it back to one side, just because how I've cut it with the shape. Like that squareness on your face when it is stronger through the middle looks a lot more use the word masculine, but just looks more squarer for you. That side sort of part tends to look a little bit off. So it's nice to keep that sort of nice balance. So even within this position here, I'd be recommending go through, flatten the sides a little bit, maybe get a bit more height in the top to elongate the face and to work that shape. We're going to put some water in it and wet it down, and you'll see the style come into place. And even if sides do fall down, you can scrunch those in and detail them. I want to take a little bit of weight out these corners just so they don't get too heavy. But honestly, I'm loving that top. Like I think it's just me a little bit more weight taken out of these sides, and I think we're golden, really. Yeah, I'm really liking that curl. I'm loving the back, how it's sitting. So for me, I'm just going to go through, cut into these corners, soften these areas a little bit, then put some product in, and we'll be done. So we're getting there. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, as I've said before, like this is all about, Calvin, come in and take a seat, mate. Yeah, come and relax. This is all about really sort of developing that haircut as we're seeing it. It's not about doing it and just being done. It's seeing how the hair reacts and works. And for me, I love that. As you can see by sort of sculpting, working the detail, and off we go. I honestly like that forwarding. And that for me, I think is great. It's probably one of my favourites is when it's forward. I think we probably will go back today with you. So, again, take the weight out. I don't want to remove the length too much. I just want to work the root areas. So I want to break in the roots, and that's going to be where my strength's going to be. So I'm going to comb down, work a little bit of a point cut just into those root areas. So I can just start to have that collapse, and just be a little bit lighter all the way through. I'm going to go through and cut into that top just that little bit more. And as you can see as well, what I'm really focusing on is not letting the blades close completely. I'm just letting that collapse down. So I'm texturizing that more than taking any length off. Thinning it out, if you will, softening those areas, about 1 to 2 fingers depth, all the way through. See how I just collapsed that side a little bit, just so it's a little bit squarer compared to that side.
Yeah.
So as you can see, like if you look in the mirror for me, so you can see just by cutting into those areas here, we're releasing that curl to match in with the top. We don't get that roundness that we was getting on the other side, so it just keeps it a little bit squarer. And not focusing on doing too much. I don't want to take it away any length, as I said before. So 1 or 2 sort of scissor strikes, 1 or 2 sort of cuts. It should be just enough to take the weight away without getting too crazy with it all. So yeah, less is more for sure. Say that as I'm going in and cutting more, but you know,
Yeah.
still just the right amount. Still just the right amount. On this second go round, I'm focusing a little bit more on taking that corner away. So as it sort of comes, it comes up and goes square and doesn't sit too heavy on that. Yeah, that's a good balance for me. Little long bit there. Okay, so go through, check the balance, just gonna work the fingers in, comb out, make sure there's no excessive long areas. We have cut a lot of texture in Max's hair. We have gone through and cut in really deep. So by doing that, we're always gonna have long, short bits all the way through. So for me, just making sure that there's nothing that's gonna be excessively too long and the balance is pretty even throughout. That's good.
So what kind of product do you have in mind?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question now. I've been thinking about it for the last sort of few minutes, like which product I want to use, what choice. I'm going to go through and wet the hair down. Most of the products I want you to use is going to be on wet hair.
Okay.
Because if you start putting products on the dry hair, the roots have got too big, the ends themselves have just started to overtake. So it wasn't going to work on your hair, wetter products. Would you like sprays? Do you like creams? Do you have a preference of anything that works?
Well, usually, last time I used product, I used it on dry.
Oh yeah.
And so more of a like a creamy kind of product, yeah.
The product I'm going to use today is going to be a spray. So for me, as I'm going to go through and finish now, I've chosen to use a bedroom hair from Kevin Murphy. One of my favourite products. It's a vegetable glycerin, which actually gives a cast to the hair once it's dried. But the great thing about it is it's going to give a nice texture to it, so it's very workable. You can spray it on, leave it. I don't have to spend time blow drying it if I don't want to. The air outside the heat's going to dry it and give me the shape I want. So it's going to be very easy for Max to go through and spray product and then just leave it. But if we did want to sort of blow dry it or put it into a different shape, manipulate it, it's very easy to do so as well. So with this product here, you'll sort of get the style you want. You know, you're going to do forward today, you're going to do back. Like what kind of sort of shape are you looking to achieve today? That's going to be sort of like your only decision. Mm-hmm. Once you get that decision, you're then going to get the product. And then just going to go through and give that product a good spray. See, I'm being quite liberal with a spray because I really want to sort of get that density, definition into the hair. So once that's in there, choice is now to go through and blow dry or literally just manipulate it into shape, bend it, twist it until it sort of feels right, and then leave it as well. And that's sort of like how much fun this product is. Once it's there, you leave it. I'm going to dry it a little bit just so I can show you the dry, because I always want to finish with a blow dry. So for me, when I'm here, it's into shape. I'm going to go through and just put a very light heat to it, low speed. I'm going to just hold it with my hands and just manipulate that hair. You can see, push the sides in a little bit, give it a little bit of lift if I want a bit of lift in the front. I mentioned to Max earlier that, let's keep it more sort of symmetrical through the front rather than to one side. So we can work on that. But this is the beauty of this kind of product, that when I'm working with it, as it's drying, it's naturally creating that solid shape. And you can see just by me holding it and drying it, how much flatter this side is, more controlled than this side here. So it's just allowing the hair to sort of shrink and to just be placed where I want it to be placed. And there we go, as easy as that. So you see like the product, you can put your hands in it, Max, and just sort of feel it. They can see how strong that product is, how it holds the hair down.
Oh yeah.
And then if you want to flatten it, you know, you can palm or tweeze or twist, I don't know where their words come from. You can sort of tease or sort of twist it, place it into shape wherever you want. And we'll go through and finish, and then we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the day.
Excellent.
Just sculpt till it's right. There we go. That feels good.
Feels great.
Nice, excellent. So everyone, we are done. Maxi today, we had really fun creating it. We went through, worked that scissor comb through the sides, removing some length, worked through the top with that nice bit of texture as well. But really the biggest thing today was just building the shape up, seeing how it's going to work, knowing that Matt's going to wear his hair in different ways and different styles, just really developing the shape as we've gone through. So it's been a pleasure cutting with Max's hair today.
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
You're very welcome. You're very
Great.
welcome. I hope you've liked all the tips, the techniques, and the understanding of how we've achieved this today. Please do the usual of the like, subscribe, leave a comment. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the video. Thanks everyone, take care.